I'm in a city in northern Albania, famous for its style, its photography, and its bicycles. This is Shkodra. With all due respect to the Albanian capital Tirana, everything begins in Shkodra.
Shkodra in all Albania is the beginning of football, the beginning of humor, the beginning of literature, the beginning of theater, the beginning of photos and cinema.
Mirë se erdhët në Shkodër.
Shkodra has a long and complicated history, but luckily I don't have to explain it to you, because I'm here with Marsid, tour guide and Shkodra expert. But I've got a challenge for you, Marsid. I need to know the whole history in no more than 1 minute.
Thank you, Jonathan, for giving me 60 seconds to tell you about my city. And I'm gonna start with the Illyrians, which used to live in this area, especially the tribe of Ardians. They built the castle in the 5th century before Christ. The Illyrians, they used to be known as pirates, and the Roman Empire just across the Adriatic didn't like them as much, so they decided to attack. And 3 Illyrian-Roman wars happened, with the Illyrians losing because they were betrayed by their own people. The ancient city of Shkodra was called Shkodrinon. Shkodra has 3 rivers, and one of them, the longest river in Albania, it's called Drini. Shkodrinon in Illyrian language as well as in Albanian language means Drini flows. Shkodra is the most important city when it comes to its geographic position, because in 30-kilometer radius it has the lake, the biggest in the Balkans, the Adriatic Sea, and also we have the Alps, which are over 2,000 meters. In Shkodra we also had the biggest bazaar in the Balkans, which was 2 kilometers long. It started from here, from the modern bridge, to almost to the city center. It had 3,500 stores, and the stores, they were mostly selling silver and gold products. What's really nice to know about this bazaar is that there was only one guard, because the people of Shkodra didn't need to steal because they were really rich.
Shkodra has a very relaxed vibe nowadays, but that wasn't the case during the communist dictatorship.
During communism, every activity that has not to do with communism and ideas of communism was closed or burned or everything, you know. Many people have been shot. Shkodra never liked communism, but they were obliged to work about communism and to live in poverty. And usually everything that entered in Albania, Shkodra took it last. Every church was all closed or destroyed. But if you can see here, this is a cathedral which is made about 150 years ago. This was transformed to a palace of sport for volley and basket and also sometimes for concerts and activities, but nothing to do with the religion. Now, after the closing of every church, every priest were put to prison or killed. One priest, after the closing, the priest baptized a child. And the communists, through their agentur, they found out who is the priest who did this, and they killed him without trial. I remember my father, my grandfather, my mother used to put covers in every window, turn off the lights, and light a candle of chera, you know, so we could pray a very small voice, almost whispering, say a prayer, and eat something more than the other days. This is one memory of communism time for me when I was small.
When the communist regime finally fell, the first mass was held here in 1993 by Pope John Paul II, and in attendance was Mother Teresa of Calcutta. At least the Catholic cathedral survived intact. Shkodra's central mosque wasn't so lucky. it was simply demolished by the communist authorities. It's since been completely rebuilt.
Now we are in the Rozafa Castle, which was built in the 4th century before Christ. And if you visit Shkodra, you definitely should stop at the Rozafa Castle. This is the most ancient part of the castle with the wall. So the first layer of the wall, it was built since the Illyrians more than 2,500 years ago. The Illyrians, they didn't have like a very improved architecture way of building, but they used very primitive and organic substances. They took the white from the egg, powder from the flour, and grinded meat, and they created a paste which managed to hold the walls together for more than 2,500 years. The second layer was rebuilt after the castle was conquered by the Byzantine Empire. And on the top there, that's the Ottoman layer. This is a cannonball that was used to conquest the castle of Rozafa. The very same cannonball and the same cannons were used to conquer Constantinople by Sultan Murad II.
Wow, you would not want to be on the other end of that. Is this the secret entrance you were telling me about?
Now, the Illyrians built it as a way of escaping. Little did they know that this would backfire on them and be the reason why the castle was conquered. The castle of Rozafa got its name from a woman. I don't have time to explain it right now, but to know more, you should visit me on my next tour.
And I recommend you do that, because it's a really interesting legend, although a little bit macabre. I was particularly excited to come to Shkodra for the opportunity to visit the National Photography Exhibition, the home of the world-famous Marubi collection. The photographer, Pietro Marubi, was an Italian immigrant who set up a photographic studio here in the city in 1856. Over the next 100 years, he and his descendants would leave an invaluable photographic record. The images are absolutely iconic, demonstrating both the national dress of northern Albania at that time and also chronicling some of the tumultuous events that overtook this region during the period. If you're anywhere near Shkodra, then you must come to this museum. This is Shkodra's wonderful historical museum. It's in a beautiful Ottoman house from around 1850. The museum's director, Amila, is kindly going to show us around.
Mirë se erdhët, unë jam Amila Gjyrezi, përgjithësja drejtoresha e Muzeut Historik Shkodër. Mirë se erdhët në Muzeun Historik Shkodër.
There's a lot to see in Shkodra, but there are also a lot of cafes to enjoy.
And this building over here, it was built after the civil war we had in '97 due to the Ponzi scheme. The government thought it was a good idea to implement. And these were built all by the bullet cartridges that were collected, that were shot during '97.
Shkodra has always been famous for its artists. I was very fortunate to be able to meet up with Mir, the director of Shkodra's contemporary art space.
Here we are in the art gallery of Shkodra municipality. In the middle of our exhibition, exhibition that speaks about collection made by postcards collected by an Turkish Albanian originary, Marsid Tiskaj.
Mir, historically, Shkodra has a reputation for art and culture, but is that still true today?
If we refer to our history, at least to the 19th century, Shkodër it may be considered as the point of the gravity of the political and philosophical and cultural movement for all the Albanian environment. After the socialist and communist period, the reflection of this time with the necessity to establish a bridge of communication between our greatest cultural moment and the happenings of today. This I will call it, let's say, Shkodra of today.
Approaching Shkodra from the south, you'll meet the formidable figure of Albanian national hero Issa Bolotini. He was a politician and fighter, and instrumental in creating the League of Prizren in 1877, a movement that sought to defend Albanian lands from the Serbs and Bulgarians, and also seek more autonomy within the Ottoman Empire. Whilst in Shkodra, I'm staying at Tradita. It's based around a house that dates from 1694. And as well as being a traditional style hotel, it's also a museum and one of Shkodra's finest restaurants. If you want to taste authentic Albanian food, then this is definitely the place to come. Okay, the starter has arrived and it's enormous. And this is traditional Albanian fried cheese. To finish the feast, I have some stuffed potatoes. There was fried cheese to come as well. Oh my god. The diet definitely starts tomorrow. Shkodra is an intoxicating cocktail of Albania and Italy, with a little slice of the Netherlands thrown in. It's full of history, the people are cool, and the food is delicious. I really hope to return one day, but that's all I've got time for on this journey. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.